Today we're going to discuss a system that I put together for bug out, bug in flexibility. Obviously, everyone on a budget knows that you can't have 50 different guns to do what you're trying to do, because if you ever had to leave, you'd never be able to take them all with you. So trying to find the most universal platform with standardized cartridges and something that's effective to close and medium ranges, and maybe will allow harassing fire at longer ranges, is something that I gave a lot of thought to. As well as, you'll notice that a lot of the thought that I put into this is revolving around having multiple calibers, because one type of ammunition just may not be available in a certain area at a disaster time. So let's take a look. First, I've got the AR-15 platform. I custom built this to be a medium range rifle. It is equipped with a pistol scope. For those of you who wonder, why would you put a pistol scope on an AR? What you have to take a look at is, this is set up like a scout scope. So rifles with the scout design were meant for medium distances, firing with both eyes open, and being able to engage targets accurately further than open sights or any type of a dot reticle. And that's exactly what this does. It does also have an illuminated reticle for lower light shooting, because as people notice, that's when most activity happens. As well as, in the evening, if it's dark and people are trying to, go looting, or perhaps you're trying to just make sure everybody's safe while you're trying to get from point A to point B, having that extended shooting time is very important. It might give you a tactical advantage. What I have is a detachable bipod, obviously adding to the mid-range of this rifle. The fact that it's detachable is very nice in the fact, for having a static point where I could, engage targets at a longer distance, especially if, there was a field or some type of open cover in between there. Next, I'll talk about pistol systems. This is a Glock 22. I also have a smaller version, the 27. Both these are chambered in 40 caliber, and this is not the place for the discussion on 9, 40, or 45 calibers. However, the main thing I want to discuss is the reason why these pistols were the ones I chose is because of the versatility in the different types of magazines. So, as most of you know, the larger magazines that'll fit the full-size pistols will fit inside the subcompacts as well. So that gives me, obviously, a high capacity in a small package. People don't think about it a lot, but people that have guns, might be high targets. Other times you might go into an area where, in an effort to control violence in any type of grid down situation, they might say, we don't want you to have a gun, and having something more concealable might offer you protection without, giving yourself no way of defending yourself. So I'm not going to load these because obviously this one's loaded, this one has a snap cap, but I think everyone gets the idea. The next thing I want to talk about is how I built both of these platforms on the basis that not only can they fire the 5.56 and 40 caliber round, which are very popular and easy to find, but they also can fire 22 caliber long rifle. Right here we have the 22 conversion magazines that fit a bolt that I carry for the AR-15. These are 28 round magazines. I've got a few, as you can see, I tape them up to make sure I know exactly which ones they are for training purposes. And this gives you a lot of variability for not only carrying more ammo, because ammunition is very heavy, if any of you have ever tried to carry large amounts, but 22 long rifle, you can pack 500 rounds in a very small package, and that will last you a long time for hunting, as well as will work in a defense situation if you had nothing more powerful. That concept is continued to the Glock, using a 22 conversion kit by Advantage Arms. Show you this briefly. It's a new slide, as well as I have purchased several magazines for it. It's actually very light, so putting this in my bag as a second option is a very good option to have for versatility with ammunition. Those of you that are curious about it, you can look at my Minnesota bug out bag video. And then lastly, obviously, you know, firearms are fantastic, but you want to be able to have some type of, you know, an edged weapon too. This I haven't given as much thought to because, you know, do I really think that I'm, you know, some tactical ninja? No. But when you're either at home or going into the woods, you need to have a good camping knife or something that's not only able to process wood and do the things you need to, clean game, but also, you know, it could double as a defensive weapon because it may be the only thing you have at that point. What I chose as a primary for that is this Kukri Cold Steel. This is a Kukri machete. It is fantastic in the fact that there's so much weight forward. This thing really does chop through brush, makes quick work of logs, it's very easy to baton with, as well as it does have a certain intimidation factor. Another thing that made me think about, you know, just what I'm going to be doing is I don't really carry a lot of non-lethal options here. I have tasers, I have, you know, pepper spray, and yeah, that would probably come with me. But with this machete, it doesn't sound like it, but I've seen videos where people, you know, using it in a non-lethal or say a less lethal fashion, you can turn it around and actually use the back end of this as a blunt weapon, which, you know, don't be fooled, could break bones, so you want to be very careful where you'd hurt or hit somebody with that. As a smaller concept idea, this is a USMC K-bar replica. It is not a K-bar, but that's fine with me. I got this thing for 12 bucks on Bud K. It works fantastic for you know, taking care of deer, processing game, as well as it does have a handle which would allow you to use this as more of a defensive weapon, where you're not going to have your hand sliding forward onto the blade if you got into an engagement with it. Well, tell me what you guys use. Obviously, this is just one interpretation of what I think is good options, especially when it comes to doing this on a budget. Obviously, you know, having a tank with a 50 cal on top and, you know, maybe some type of a howitzer, you know, would be great. But it's not practical. I think this is a practical platform that not only allows me to use these consistently as carry guns, but also as the AR as a hunting rifle, and allows me to do a lot of target practice and training for cheap because I have the 22 conversion kits for both of these. So if you have an idea about either a rifle conversion, a good option for some type of platform that's easily concealable and or transportable, let me know. You know, one thing I didn't mention about the AR, and I'll bring it over here again, is this rifle, for those of you who don't have one, there are 2 takedown pins where I can essentially store this entire thing in a shorter length than the barrel, because the whole lower receiver will just detach with the buttstock, and you can fit that easily in a backpack. So think about that. Think about your ideas. Leave them in the comments section, and post a video response. Let's see what you got. Talk to you soon. Freedom out.